So I just got through hearing, you know, Khaled new album, as you see right there. Hold on, give me a minute. All right, so it had a few issues with it, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, it was quietly more enjoyable than his last couple projects that he put out. So I'll say his sixth and seventh album. This one was a little bit more enjoyable. It had more than just them token three songs, and the rest of the album is bullshit. You know, it opened up the album with the first joint, which wasn't bad. I don't play about my money, Future, and Rose. Now this shit definitely a good song, but what it do seem like, it does seem like a leftover from DS2, an actual song instead of just the actual beat, and he put Ross on it. That's what this album really got a feel for. You definitely get a feel for what Khaled really been through, and he's expressing himself through some of these songs with some particular artists. If you listen closely, but what I feel like a couple artists probably backed away from certain records or didn't really rock with them at a certain point because you got certain artists not matching the production. But we'll get to that in a minute. Then it goes into I Ride featuring Boosie, Future, Rick Ross, and Jeezy. That's a good record, a solid record. I definitely feel Boosie had the better verse on it. He spoke on some real shit. Jeezy's wasn't bad. It is what it is on that. Going into Gold Slugs featuring Chris Brown, August Alsina, and Fetty Wap. Couldn't get with it. That song just seemed forced and it don't even seem like something Khaled would even create. That's a song he's chasing a trend on. But let's keep moving. Track 4 is I Swear I Never Tell Another Soul featuring Future, Yo Gotti, and Trick Daddy. I ride with that one. That one ain't bad. Trick Daddy had a solid verse. Surprised me because I haven't heard him in so long. You know what I mean? I definitely give, a better verse to him. Still not a bad record. Of course, we already know who did the hook. Going into I Lied featuring French Montana, Meek Mill, Benny Siegel, and Jadakiss. Now, I didn't notice it at first, but let me say that again. Benny Siegel and Jadakiss. That's incredible. So that's one thing that made me understand and appreciate the song. Because I'm like, damn, this nigga got both these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Even though they put their bullshit behind them, but that's just still dope at that. The hook was weak. It did not fit French Montana. It definitely felt like somebody else should have been there. I can't put my name on what artist it should be, but if you listen to the cadence in French Montana voice, we know he can do better on hooks. It just felt like a certain cadence was there, a certain element was supposed to be there, and it wasn't. But honestly, I'll give Meek Mill, he started, he had the better verse to me. He had the hunger, he had the energy that I feel that beat provided. Not to say that Benny Siegel and Jadakiss didn't spit bars. Of course they did. It's just the energy on that record, Meek Mill had it. He ain't the only artist on this album that did that as well. Going into track 6, How Many Times featuring Chris Brown, Lil Wayne, Big Sean. Um, it's another thing with the verse. Chris Brown, to me, replaced somebody that was supposed to rap there. If you listen to his flow, you know what I mean, the cadence on the record, it just felt like he was there for the hook. That's good. But that verse, you know what I'm saying? It didn't, it's like, who supposed to be on this record besides him rapping? But to me, who, catered to the beat the way it's supposed to be was Big Sean. Wayne verse, cool, but if you listen to how, how niggas say, like, damn, the song cool, but he didn't flow on the beat right. Big Sean flowed the best on that beat if you listen closely. So definitely shout out to that nigga. But the song was cool too. I fuck with that song. But it just, you could just tell certain things are not supposed to be where they're at and certain things are missing. So we go into track 7, which is You Mine featuring Trey Songz, Jeremiah, and Future. The song is alright, you know what I mean? The hook is repetitive as hell, but Future had the best verse, I guess, out of everybody on the song, because it's a rap verse. So it's like, damn, why this, I'll leave that song alone. Never mind. Track 8, Every Time We Come Around featured French Montana, Jada Kiss, Ace Hood, and Vado. Oh, and to go back on something real quick, on track 2, they basically remade Masterpiece song. Remember that Hootie Hoo song? That's basically the beat. But Every Time We Come Around, the hook was weak. Sorry, you know. Um, Vado verse was dope because of the bars, and the metaphors he used. So I definitely enjoy his verse the most on that record. It ain't bad, you know what I mean? It just yeah, that shit was nice. Going into I Ain't Worried track 9 featuring Ace Hood and Rick Ross. To me, it should have been Wayne and French on that record. I don't know why I just got that vibe. I just think that would have been a good play on, the way Ace Hood used the flow he used. I can't say it don't remind you of Wayne when if Ace Hood ever rap like that, and I just feel like French and Wayne would have definitely been like, you know what I mean? It just would have made sense. That's just me. Going into They Don't Love You No More, we've been heard that a year ago. Yeah, but it's a new year, another one, right? Going into track 11 and track 12, I didn't like neither of them. Movado, My League, It's Not My Cup of Tea, Hold You Down. Uh, I didn't like that when it was out. And the last track, Most High, featuring John Legend, it's a soulful album closer. I will say that. Khaled outro. You did Kim giving thanks and being appreciative to all he got, and you got to give props to that. Overall, I give this album a 7 out of 10. The songs that I fuck with are the songs I fuck with. 9 of them are straight. He could have cut the. I mean, you need the records for the the chicks and everything, but as you see, this day and age really don't need it. He could have put out a straight album with none of these like girly R&B records, radio records, and it would have been solid though. That's something different. I think he should do something different, coming around with this album because it definitely got more street music on it. You know what I mean? Than most of the R&B shit because he regularly go for that pop type shit. The records he do, but this one he ain't even got that many on here, so he could have put out a straight rap album as, the artist is actually, you know, re- re- relaying his message of how he feeling through the music. You know what I mean? I just think he could have had a great thing with this. He semi got it with, the press run he doing and everything, but I understand, how he used the music to speak for himself, but he definitely could have went all out and really did that. You know what I mean? That should have been kind of Khaled whole concept when he comes out, seeing how people don't take him as serious. Some people take him as a joke, like, what the fuck do we do anyway? I'm not particularly saying that. It's just we all wonder that. But he can put, great records together. I will give him that. When he was with, doing his Beat Novocaine thing, he had some of the craziest production. I definitely think y'all should go check that out. But yeah, man, this is eighth album. I changed a lot. I definitely see how he changed a lot. It's worth a pickup, either digital or physical. It's worth it because it's somewhere here for everybody. You know what I mean? But that's just me. I'm just, different when it comes to music. But I appreciate this more, than the last two joints. So it is what it is. I fuck with it. I'll buy it now that I heard it, So yeah. Shout out to DJ Khaled. I changed a lot. In stores now. 1.